Magandang araw mga bata! Ako si Ma'am Regine, ang teacher mo sa math. Today we will be learning about addition and subtraction of polynomials. This is a lesson for grade 7 mathematics under quarter 2, lesson 4. Kaya tara na, and let's do the math. Evaluating algebraic expressions. An expression can have a value if you replace the variable with a number and perform the operations involved. Bigay tayo ng example. First example, find the value of 3x plus 5 if x is equal to 2. Ang ating algebraic expression ay 3x plus 5. Kukunin natin ang kanyang value kung itong x na to, itong variable ay papalitan natin ng 2. First, write down the given, 3x plus 5. Next, substitute. Replace the variable by 2, kasi 2 yung binigay sa atin na value ni x. Pag nakita natin na magkadikit lamang no symbol, it implies multiplication. Kaya ito ay magiging 3 multiplied to 2 plus 5. Then, perform the operation. Following the GEMDAS rule, we have to multiply first before we can add. Itong GEMDAS ay ating na-discuss sa lesson 3. The GEMDAS rule is very important when evaluating algebraic expressions. You need to follow the sequence of GEMDAS for you to get the right value. Kaya naman dito, mag-multiply na muna tayo. 3 times 2, tsaka tayo mag-add. 3 times 2 is 6, and then add it to 5. Ang sagot natin ay 11. Therefore, the value of this algebraic expression 3x plus 5 is 11. Next example, find the value of this algebraic expression. This is read as the quotient of 6ab minus c and abc. If a is equal to 5, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to 10. First, write the given, and then substitute them. 6 is a constant, hindi natin siya kailangang baguhin. This is a constant number. Variables lamang yung ating babaguhin ng value. So, yung A, itong dalawang A ay papalitan natin ng 5. Ang dalawang B ay papalitan natin ng 3. And then, yung C ay papalitan natin ng 10. And then, let's perform the operation according to GEMDAS. 90 minus 10 over 150. Saan nanggaling itong mga numbers na ito? 90 ay nanggaling dito sa 6 times 5 times 3. Pwede rin naman na 3 times 5 times 6. Dahil itong tatlong ito ay under ng associative property of multiplication. Kahit pagbalik-balik ta rin mo sila, iisa lang naman ang sagot. 90. And then, copy minus 10. Next, saan nakuha ang 150? 5 times 3 times 10. Pwede rin na 10 times 3 times 5. Under din ito ng rule na associative property of multiplication. Pwede natin siyang balik-balik ta rin and we'll still arrive with the same answer, 150. Next natin gawin ay, kailangan na muna natin i-perform yung nasa taas bago tayo makapag-proceed dito sa baba. 90 minus 10 is equal to 80. Now, we have two ways on how we can arrive with the answer or evaluate this expression. First, we can simply divide 80 by 150 because this bar refers to division. 80 divided by 150 is approximately estimated to 0.53 when rounded off to the nearest hundreds. So, yung isang sagot dito ay possible na 0.53. Aside from decimal number, pwede rin natin siyang maging sagot into a fraction. Since 80 over 150 ay malaki pang fraction, pwede natin siyang isimplify na lamang. Divided by 10. 10 is the GCF or greatest common factor between 80 and 150. Ang sagot natin ay 8/15. Ito yung simplified na form ng 80 over 150. So, ang sagot dito sa expression na ito ay pwedeng dalawa. It's either 8/15 or 0.53. Dahil ang value naman ng 8/15 ay ganun din. Approximately estimated to the nearest hundred, 0.53 din. Pareho lang sila ng value. Polynomial. It is a kind of algebraic expression where each term is a constant, a variable, or a product of a constant and variable in which the variable has a whole number, which is a non-negative number, exponent. Simply said, a polynomial is an algebraic expression. All polynomials are algebraic expressions. However, Not all algebraic expressions are polynomials. Meron tayong tatlong restrictions. An algebraic expression is not a polynomial if the exponent of the variable is not a whole number. Say for example, ang exponent ng ating variable ay integer. We know that integers are not whole numbers. We know that whole numbers include all positive numbers plus 0. Kung ang ating exponent ay -3, which is an integer na hindi whole number, this is an expression but not a polynomial. Another example, if our exponent is a fraction or a decimal, they are not whole numbers. Hindi sila polynomial. Also, an algebraic expression is not considered a polynomial if the variable is inside the radical sign. Just like this, meron tayong variable sa loob ng radical sign. Pag ang radicand ay merong variable, this is an algebraic expression but not a polynomial. Isa pang condition kung bakit hindi nagiging polynomial ang isang algebraic expression, the variable is in the denominator. Say for example, fraction ng ating algebraic expression. 1 over y, this is an algebraic expression. However, this is not a polynomial. Dahil ang denominator natin ay isang variable. It must be a constant. Pero halimbawa, baliktad yung kanilang pwesto. Yung ating fraction ay y over 1. Y yung numerator, tapos maging 1 yung ating denominator. Polynomial yun, dahil yung nasa denominator ay constant na 1. Pero in this case, this is an algebraic expression but not a polynomial. Rules of addition and subtraction of polynomials. We have two ways on how we can perform addition or subtraction of polynomials. Pwedeng grouping method or pwede rin naman na vertical method. Pero kahit ano pa man dito sa dalawang ito ang ating gamitin na method, meron tayong tatlong basic na rules. First, arrange the polynomial in descending or ascending order if possible. Ascending order means you have to arrange the terms from the least to the greatest value. Descending order means that you'll be arranging from greatest to least value. By value, it is referring to the degree. Between the two, ascending and descending order, mas okay na gamitin ang descending order kapag tayo ay mag-add or subtract. However, pwede rin naman ang ascending order, depende sa inyo. Let's have an example, -5a plus 3a squared plus a cubed. Ang degree ng -5a ay invisible 1, 3a squared ang degree ay 2, at ang a cubed ang degree niya ay 3. Sa kanilang tatlo, ang may pinakamataas na degree ay a cubed. Mapapansin natin, ito ay arranged into ascending order. Ito naman yung kanyang arrangement kapag descending order. 3, 2, 1. Ito, 1, 2, 3. Next step, combine similar terms. When we say similar terms, these are terms with the same literal coefficient. Let's have a review. Literal coefficient is the variable part including the exponent. Example dito sa term na 3a squared. A squared here is the literal coefficient. The numerical coefficient, on the other hand, is the number part of the term. So, dito sa 3a squared, kung ang a squared ay ang literal coefficient, ang numerical coefficient ay 3. We have here ab plus 3ab squared plus a cubed b. If we are to add or subtract this polynomial to another polynomial, -4a cubed b minus 2ab squared plus 5ab, we need to combine the similar terms first, yung mga magkakapareho. So, from this polynomial, i-combine natin sila, yung magkakapareho. So, yung AB dapat ay kasama niya yung 5AB dahil pareho sila ng literal coefficients. Ito namang AB squared, dapat magkasama sila. At ito rin na A cubed B. Pag tayo magko-combine ng similar terms, lagi tayong nakabase sa literal coefficient at hindi sa numerical coefficient. Once we're done combining similar terms, we can now proceed to add and subtract the numerical coefficients, applying the rules in subtracting and adding integers, and then copy the literal coefficient. Tandaan na ang ating ina-add or subtract ay yung numerical coefficients lamang. Yung kanilang literal coefficients ay kinokopya lang natin. And for you to do so, for you to add or subtract the numerical coefficients, you must remember the rules of integers. Kaya naman, panoorin natin ang review for the rules of integers. Addition of integers. To add two positive integers, add the two integers and copy the positive sign of it. Meron tayong positive 3. I-add natin siya kay positive 2. We just need to combine all these. Meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because 3 plus 2 is equal to positive 5. Itong dalawa ay positive integers, therefore ang sagot natin ay positive 10. An integer without a negative sign before it is automatically known as a positive integer. Itong mga integers na walang sign ng negative, these are known as positive integers. To add two negative integers, add the two integers together and copy the negative sign of it. Negative integers are numbers with a minus sign before it. Meron tayong negative 3, i-add natin siya kay negative 2. We need to combine all them together since pare-pareho lang naman sila ng sign. All of them are negative integers. So, negative 3 plus negative 2 is negative 5. Since both of them are negative, the answer is also negative. Applying the rules, i-add muna natin sila together. 3 plus 2 is 5. And then, we need to copy their common sign, which is negative. Kaya, ang ating sum ay negative 5. When you add a zero pair, the sum is always 0. A pair of one negative and one positive is a zero pair. So, if you have here a positive 1, added to a negative 1, since this is a zero pair, silang dalawa ay makakancel lamang. Kapag pinag-plus natin sila, ang sagot ay 0. Another example, kung meron tayong positive 2, i-add natin siya kay negative 2. Since sila ay zero pair, meron tayong dalawang zero pair dito, all of them will be cancelled out, and the answer will be 0. Lahat ng zero pair ay laging 0 ang sagot. Say for example, positive 5 plus negative 5, positive 100 plus negative 100. So long as it's a zero pair, the sum is always 0. To add integers with different signs, magkaiba yung kanilang signs but not a zero pair. First, find their absolute values. Next, subtract the smaller number from the bigger number, and then copy the original sign of the bigger number for the sum. Example, kung meron tayong positive 3 at i-add natin siya kay negative 2. Following the rule for zero pair, since meron tayong dalawang pares ng zero pair dito, both of them will be cancelled out at ang matitira ay yung positive 1. Therefore, 3 plus negative 2 is positive 1. However, without using these visuals, let's apply the rules for adding integers with different signs. Ang sabi dito, una nating gawin ay find their absolute value. So, absolute values of a number is always positive. Absolute value of 3 is positive 3, and the absolute value of negative 2 is positive 2. So, kung may absolute value na tayo, next, subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Identify natin kung sino ang smaller o kung sino ang bigger number. So, between 3 and 2, yung ating nakuwang absolute values, 3 is bigger, 2 is smaller. Kaya naman si 2 ay ibabawas natin kay 3. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Next, for its sign, para sa sign ng ating sagot, copy the original sign of the bigger number. So, before natin kunin yung absolute values, si 3 ay positive at si 2 kanina ay negative before getting its absolute value. Since 3 is bigger at siya ay positive, yung ating sagot na 1 kanina sa 3 minus 2 ay magiging positive. Therefore, 3 plus negative 2 is positive 1 because the sign of the sum is based on the sign of the bigger number. Another example, if we have positive 2 added to negative 3, visuals muna tayo. So, since meron tayong dalawang 0 pairs, they will be cancelled out. Ang matitira ay yung negative 1. So, dapat ang ating sagot ay negative 1. 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. Without using the visuals and applying the rules for adding integers with different signs, una natin kunin ang kanilang absolute values. So, si positive 2, ang absolute value niya ay 2. Si negative 3 ay magiging positive 3 dahil yun ang kanyang absolute value. Next, subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. Si 2 ay ang smaller number. Si 3 ay ang bigger number. Yun yung kanilang mga absolute values. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So, nasubtract na natin siya. Ano ang magiging sign ng ating sagot? Para makuha natin ang sign nitong ating sagot, we will have to base it on the original sign of the bigger number. So, kanina, bago natin kunin yung absolute values ng ating mga addends, ito yung ating dalawang numbers na inadd, 2 and negative 3. Si 3 ay negative, and 3 is bigger than 2 nung ating nakuha na yung kanilang absolute value. Therefore, yung ating sagot na 1 sa 3 minus 2 ay magiging negative 1. Because negative is the original sign of the bigger number, which is 3. Kaya 2 plus negative 3 is really negative 1. Next, we have subtraction of integers. The basic rule for subtracting integers is first change the sign of the subtrahend, then proceed to the rules of addition. Pero bago yan, alamin muna natin ang basic parts ng subtraction. Ang minuend ay ang number na binabawasan. Kung ang ating subtraction process ay vertical or nakatayo, ang minuend ay yung nasa taas. Kung horizontal naman or nakahiga, minuend yung nauuna. Siya yung babawasan. And this one is the symbol for subtraction, minus. Subtrahend. Subtrahend naman yung number na ibabawas. So, vertically, si subtrahend ay nasa baba ni minuend. Kung nakahiga naman horizontal, siya yung nasa dulo or siya yung pangalawa. Subtrahend is yung number na ibabawas. Subtrahend is the number being subtracted from a number. It is being subtracted from minuend. Kaya kailangan nating malaman kung sino sa kanilang dalawang subtrahend para alam natin kung sino yung tamang number na ating iibahin ang sign. At syempre, pag tayo ay nag-subtract, ang sagot ay difference. Let's have an example. If we have here positive 2 minus negative 1, sundin natin yung rule ng subtracting integers. First, change the sign of the subtrahend. Alam natin na sa subtrahend ay yung number na nasa baba at si minuend ay yung nasa taas. Si minuend ay hindi natin gagalawin yung kanyang signs as is. So, kung positive siya, positive talaga siya. Between 2 and negative 1 ang ating subtrahend. From negative, gagawin natin siyang positive. Kaya naman si negative 1 ay naging positive 1. At yung minus sign ay gagawin na nating plus sign. Meron na tayo ngayong positive 2 plus positive 1. Let's now apply the rules of addition for two positive integers. To add two positive integers, add the two integers together and copy the positive sign of it. Meron tayong positive 2, ipa-plus natin kay positive 1. Since ito ay addition na, i-combine lang natin silang lahat. 2 plus 1 is positive 3. Kaya naman, ang ating original equation na 2 minus negative 1, ang sagot ay positive 3. Another example, we have here, negative 2 minus positive 1. Una, change the sign of the subtrahend from positive, naging negative. Ang ating positive 1 ay naging negative 1. Minus sign, gagawin natin plus sign. Kaya naman, meron na tayo ngayong dalawang negative integers. Isang negative 2, isang negative 1. And applying the rules of addition, to add two negative integers, add the two integers together and copy the negative sign of it. Since ito ay addition na, pwede na natin silang i-combine lahat. 2 plus 1 is 3. Copying the sign of the negative sign from both of them, yung 3 ay magiging negative 3. Kaya naman, ang ating original problem na negative 2 minus positive 1, ang sagot ay negative 3. Another example, if we have here negative 2 minus negative 1, change the sign of the subtrahend from negative to positive. Negative 1 magiging positive 1. Si minus sign magiging plus. Applying the rules of addition, since meron tayong zero pair, sila ay makakancel out. Ang matitira yung ating sagot, which is negative 1. To add integers with different signs, find their absolute values. Si negative 2, ang kanyang absolute value ay positive 2. Positive 1, ang absolute value ay positive 1. Next, subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. In this case, smaller number ay si 1 at si larger number ay si 2, yung kanyang absolute value. Kaya ibawas natin si 1 kay 2. 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Next, for the sign of our sum, yung ating pinakasagot, copy the original sign of the bigger number. Kanina, kinuha natin yung absolute values nila. This is positive 2 and this is positive 1. So, between 2 and 1, mas malaki si 2. Ang original sign ni 2 ay negative. Negative 2 siya. Kaya ito namang ating sagot na 1 ay magiging negative 1. Negative 2 plus positive 1 is negative 1. Yung ating original na problem kanina ay negative 2 minus negative 1. Ang sagot natin dun ay negative 1. Tulad ng inyong napanood, add similar signed integers. Kung meron tayong parehong positive at parehong negative, since pareho yung sign nila, add them together. On the other hand, for the similar signed integers, isang positive, isang negative, subtract their absolute values and then copy the sign of the bigger number between the two. And for subtraction, always change the sign of the subtrahend first, then proceed to the rules of addition. Very important na alam natin yung rules ng addition and subtraction of integers para makapag-perform tayo ng addition and subtraction of polynomials, because that is the same rule applied here. Yung numerical coefficient, yun lang yung ating ina-add or subtract dito sa polynomials. We only copy the literal coefficients. So, itong numerical coefficients, treat them as if they were integers. Addition of polynomials. This is via the grouping method. An example is to add 4x squared minus 2x plus 5 and 7 plus 5x cubed plus 4x minus x squared. First step tayo for grouping method. Arrange the polynomial in descending or ascending order if possible. Ang gagamitin natin ay descending order. 4x squared minus 2x plus 5. Ang degree nito ay 2, ang degree naman ni 2x ay 1, and constant ay laging nasa dulo. Okay na siya, no need to arrange. Next polynomial natin, 7 plus 5x cubed plus 4x minus x squared. Kailangan pa natin siyang ayusin. Siya ay magiging 5x cubed dahil ang kanyang degree ay 3. X squared, ang degree nito ay 2. 4x, degree ay 1, then 7 is a constant. Ayan, ayos na siya in descending order. Step 2, group terms which are similar. So, ganito natin siya i-group. 5x cubed, wala siyang kasama. Dahil yung una nating polynomial, ang pinakamataas niyang degree ay 2 lamang, wala siyang 3 as a degree. Kaya walang kasama si 5x cubed. Next, i-group natin together si 4x squared at si minus x squared dahil pareho sila ng literal coefficient. So, question, bakit ito naging minus x squared? Tulad ng nabanggit natin sa lesson 3 for algebraic expressions, terms are separated by either minus or plus sign. Pero aside from separating terms para hindi sila maghalo-halo, isa pang function nitong plus and minus sign ay to determine the sign of the term after them. So itong 5x cubed, wala siyang plus or minus sign, automatic positive to. This one, itong x squared ay sumunod kay minus. Therefore, siya ay minus or negative x squared. Si 4x naman positive, so positive 4x ito. At ito naman ay positive 7. Kaya naman, naging minus x squared siya. Naging negative x squared siya. I-add natin yung positive 4x squared at yung negative na x squared. Group din natin together yung dalawang terms na ang kanilang variable ay parehong x. Ang literal coefficient nila ay x. Ang exponent ay invisible 1. So, kung mapapansin natin ito, negative 2x din siya. Dahil yung kanyang sign before the term ay minus. Negative 2x. And then, both 5 and 7 are positive. Once we're done grouping similar terms, proceed to step 3. Kailangan na nating mag-perform ng operation. In this case, tayo ay mag-a-add ng polynomials. Yung 5x cubed ay walang kasama, so just drop it down as is. Ito namang sumunod, 4x squared plus negative x squared, kailangan nating i-perform yung operation which is addition. And following the rules of integers for addition, for the similar signed integers, ito ay magkaiba, isang positive, isang negative, we need to subtract their absolute values and then copy the sign of the bigger number. Ang numerical coefficient ng 4x squared ay 4. At ang numerical coefficient naman ng negative x squared ay 1. So, nanggaling yung 1. Just like exponents, pag ang variable ay walang katabi na visible na numerical coefficient, automatically ito ay may invisible 1. Kaya si negative x squared ay automatically merong negative 1 na numerical coefficient. Kaya naman, i-add natin ang 4 plus negative 1. Kailangan natin i-subtract. That will be 4 minus 1, which is 3. And then, copy the sign of the bigger number. Mas malaki si 4, which is positive. Kaya ang sagot natin dito ay positive 3. And then, copy the literal coefficient, x squared. Next, 4x plus negative 2x. Numerical coefficient ay 4. Ito naman, negative 2. So, different signs sila. Magkaiba din. 4 plus negative 2. Kaya kailangan natin mag-subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2. At ang sign ng bigger number na 4 ay positive. Kaya magiging sagot natin dyan ay positive 2. And then, copy the literal coefficient x. Constants tayo, 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. Once we're done performing the operation, we can now combine them all together. So, our answer is 5x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2x plus 12. Pagkasama-samahin lang natin silang lahat. Plus yung mga nagsiseparate sa kanila dahil lahat sila ay positive. Addition of polynomials pa rin tayo. Same example, but this time we will be performing the vertical method. First step, pareho lang naman. Kailangan natin talagang i-arrange into either descending or ascending order. Ang gagamitin natin ay descending order pa din. Second step, instead of combining the similar terms, we need to align them vertically. Lagay ng plus sign. Ito yung ating first polynomial, arrange na siya into descending order. Ito naman yung ating pangalawang polynomial. So, kung mapapansin natin, si 5x cubed ay walang katapat dahil wala naman siyang katulad ng literal coefficient. Dito sa polynomial natin na ito, ang highest exponent niya na ay 2, which is katapat nitong negative x squared. So, sila yung magkatapat dahil pareho sila ng literal coefficient. Itong pangatlong term naman ay pareho ng literal coefficient, variable x, at dulo yung constant. Once sila ay atin nang na-align vertically yung kanilang similar terms, pwede na tayong mag-proceed sa step 3. Add them together. Drop down lang natin yung 5x cubed dahil wala naman tayong i-add sa kanya. Next, 4x squared plus negative x squared. Our general rule for addition and subtraction of polynomials, ang ina-add or subtract lang natin talaga ay ang numerical coefficients. We just copy the literal coefficients. Dito sa 4x squared, ang numerical coefficient ay positive 4. Dito naman sa negative x squared, ang kanyang numerical coefficient ay negative 1, invisible 1. Kaya 4 plus negative 1, dissimilar sign integers, kailangan nating mag-minus. 4 minus 1 is 3. At copy the sign of the bigger number, which is positive, kaya ito ay magiging positive 3. Kaya plus 3 kasi positive 3 yung sagot natin. And then copy the literal coefficient x squared. Next, dito tayo sa sumunod na term. Negative 2x plus positive 4x. Negative 2 plus positive 4. Magkaiba yung sign kaya kailangan natin mag-minus. 4 minus 2, ang sagot natin ay 2. Anong sign ni 2? Yun ay positive dahil mas malaki si 4, bigger number siya ay positive. Kaya sagot natin ay positive 2. Then copy the literal coefficient x. Last, constants tayo. 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. Kaya ang sagot na natin dito ay, pareho lang naman, ganun pa rin. 5x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2x plus 12. You can choose whichever method you prefer, yung mas nadadalian ka. It's either grouping or vertical method. Pareho lang yung magiging sagot. Subtraction of polynomials. This is via grouping method. An example is to subtract 4xy plus 5x minus 7y plus 3 from xy minus 6x plus y plus 6. Kapag tayo ay magsasubtract ng polynomials, it is very important that we fully understand the problem. Hindi ito katulad ng addition na pwede natin siyang mapagbaliktad ng pwesto, okay lang, because the result will still be the same. For subtraction process, kailangan nating identify kung sino ba si minuend, sino ba yung babawasan, sino ba si subtrahend, sino ba yung ibabawas kanino. So in this case, meron tayong two polynomials. It says here that we have to subtract this polynomial from this polynomial. Therefore, ito yung babawasan, ito yung ibabawas. This is the minuend and this is the subtrahend. Once alam na natin kung sino si subtrahend at sino si minuend, we can now proceed with step 1. Arrange natin siya into descending or ascending order. Descending ang ating gagamitin dito. So, ito na yung uunahin natin na polynomial because this is the minuend. Siya ay nakaayos naman into descending order. Next is the subtrahend. Okay naman siya, naka-arrange naman siya into descending order. However, since we know that this is the subtrahend, we need to change its sign. So, from yung original sign niya na ganito, siya ay magiging yung kabaliktaran niya. From positive 4xy, magiging negative 4xy. From positive 5x, magiging negative 5x. Negative 7y to positive 7y. And positive 3 to negative 3. Babaliktarin natin yung kanyang signs. Because subtrahend siya. Ito na yung gagamitin nating bagong subtrahend, hindi na ito. And then once we're done changing the sign of the subtrahend, we can now proceed with the rules of addition. Just like how we do it in integers. Group terms which are similar. So, itong xy ay kapareho ng negative 4xy. Ang ginamit natin yung bago nating subtrahend, yung change sign. And then, yung negative 6x, i-add natin kay negative 5x. Y, i-add natin kay positive 7y. And then, yung positive 6 ay i-add natin kay negative 3. Once we're done grouping similar terms, addition na yung ating process, add na tayo. xy plus negative 4xy. So for xy, since wala siyang visible na numerical coefficient, automatically ito ay 1. Positive siya, so ito ay positive 1. And then for negative 4xy, ito ay negative 4. Kaya ang i-add natin ay positive 1 plus negative 4. Ang rules natin ng addition kapag different signs, magsasubtract tayo. Kaya 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Ang sign niya ay magiging negative dahil ang bigger number ay negative 4. Sagot natin ay magiging negative 3. And then copy the literal coefficient xy. Next, negative 6x plus negative 5x. Add natin si negative 6 at negative 5. Since same sign sila, pareho silang negative, let's just add them together. Magiging negative 11. Copy the literal coefficient x. Next, y plus 7y. Si y ay walang visible na numerical coefficient, kaya automatic ito ay 1. Positive siya, kaya positive 1. So, positive 1 plus positive 7, same signs, add them together, magiging 8. 1 plus 7 is 8. And then copy the literal coefficient y. Last, constants. 6 plus negative 3. Magkaiba sila ng sign, so we have to subtract. 6 minus 3 is equal to 3. Anong sign ng ating sagot na 3? That will be positive dahil mas malaki si 6 kay 3 at si 6 ay positive. So, ang magiging sagot natin ay positive 3. Once we're done performing the operation, let's combine them all together. And the answer will be negative 3xy minus 11x plus 8y plus 3. Ito na yung ating sagot dito sa ating problem na ito. Next, we have to subtract the same polynomial, same problem, however, vertical method na tayo. So, ganun pa rin. Arrange them into descending order ang ginamit natin. And then, we change the sign of the subtrahend. Napalitan na natin ang sign. Once we're done changing the sign of the subtrahend, we can now proceed to the rules of addition. Di na tayo magsusubtract, tayo ay mag-a-add na. Align the similar terms vertically. So, from minus sign, tayo ay magpo-proceed na kay addition. Lagay natin yung unang polynomial, yung ating minuend. xy minus 6x plus y plus 6. At saka yung ating sumunod na polynomial, yung subtrahend natin kanina na binago natin yung sign. Yun yung ating gagamitin. So, yung xy na positive ay nakatapat kay negative 4xy dahil pareho sila ng literal coefficient. Negative 6x at negative 5x, magkatapat din sila. Ganon din ang y at 7y and then the constants. Once we're done with aligning them vertically, proceed na tayo sa ating operation. Let's add xy and negative 4xy. Ang xy, ang kanyang numerical coefficient ay invisible 1. Positive dahil positive yung xy. 1 plus negative 4. Since different signs, kailangan nating mag-minus. 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Ang sign ni 3 na ating sagot ay magiging negative dahil between 1 and 4, mas malaki si 4. Si 4 ay negative, kaya ang sagot natin ay negative 3. And then copy the literal coefficient. Dito naman sa negative 6 at negative 5, since pareho silang negative, we'll just have to add them together and then copy their sign. Negative 11. Plus to dahil naka-addition yung ating process. Copy the numerical coefficient x. Sumunod nating terms, y. Wala siyang visible na numerical coefficient, so this is 1, positive, dahil positive yung y. And then 7, 1 plus 7, positive pareho ay magiging positive 8. And then copy the literal coefficient y. Last tayo sa constants. Positive 6 plus negative 3. Different signs, so we have to subtract. 6 minus 3 is equal to 3. Magiging positive 3 ang ating sagot dahil 6 is bigger than 3 and 6 is a positive number. Kaya ang sagot natin ay plus 3. Ito na ang ating sagot, or simply, negative 3xy minus 11x plus 8y plus 3. Pansin na naging minus 11x na ito dahil dito we're just referring to the sign. Ito ay plus negative 11. Automatic naman na alam natin na itong 11 ay negative dahil ito ay nauunahan ng minus sign. So, no need to include this plus sign. And that's how you perform addition and subtraction of polynomials using two methods, grouping and vertical method. And that's it for our video for today mga bata. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, ang teacher mo sa math, for more grade 7 mathematics contents. And please also keep on liking and sharing our videos para mas marami pa akong mga grade 7 na bata na tulad mo ang maabot at maturuan dahil ako si Ma'am Regine, ang teacher mo sa math.